I hurt myself today to see if I still feel. I focus on the dump, the only thing that's real. Red candle digs a hole, the old familiar sting. Try to cope it all the way, that I remember everything. What have I become? My sweetest friend. Every coin I own just gets bogged in the end. And you could hack it all. My portfolio of dust, it'll only let you down. It'll only make you just.
Hey guys, welcome to the channel. Welcome to the Bit Squad. Today, we're going to be talking about a situation in Iran that actually has very large repercussions and reverberating effects for Bitcoin and cryptocurrency. We're also going to be talking about John McAfee and something that happened in South Africa that was not good. But before we do, I want to make a special announcement on the channel. As you guys know, for many months, I've been making 2 videos every single day, Monday through Friday, 1 video on Saturday and 1 video on Sunday. I've decided that what I'm going to do after putting a poll out on the community is that from here on out, or at least for a while, I'm going to try doing 1 video every day, and I'm going to try to make the quality of that video much better than the quality of my previous videos. So hopefully it'll be like kind of the same amount of information, but just in 1 video instead of spread out.
Don't try to surf, don't do it. The less you do, the more you do.
So, okay guys, looking at the markets today, Bitcoin is up just a tiny bit, sitting at $3,913. The total market cap is $125 billion, and Bitcoin dominance has risen back to the 54s. I remember when it was in the low 40s and we were hoping it would drop back down to the 30s. Man, that feels like a long time. A lot of people are starting to wonder whether or not that this bear market will actually be worse than the bear market in 2014. There's a thread going around on Twitter that lists all kinds of reasons why, and I hope that it's wrong. So I think probably most people don't want to see that prolonged bear market, but we will just have to see. So, okay guys, South Africa, we have a man who is tortured for Bitcoins and he's in intensive care. According to local news source Soweto Urban, Andrew of Lanseria was invited to give a presentation at a private residence by Met a Man, so he had met on Facebook and later in person. I don't know if that sentence really makes sense, but I think you get the gist of it. When he got there, someone came up behind him and knocked him out by way of a chemical soaked cloth to the face. Alright, join the leading industry event. Yay, right in the middle here. It's a little weird place for ad placement, but basically the long and the short of it is there was $100,000 worth of Bitcoin that was stolen from this man, and the moral of the story is don't accept any friend requests on Facebook from people that you don't know, because it seems like that's what happened here.
I'm the meat chef. Yeah, someone asked me, do I smoke meat? Smoking meat. Smoking these meats. Smoking meats earlier in the day.
But this is not the only case of people being tortured for Bitcoin. We've seen it in many different places. My suggestion, get yourself a hardware wallet, take it down to your local bank, get a safety deposit box, put your hardware wallet along with your private key inside of that box, and there it should be safe. And plus, even if someone does try to come and kidnap you and kill you for your crypto and you explain to them where it is, they're not going to feel too good about their chances to be able to get the Bitcoins, considering you're going to have to go into a bank. And if you go into a bank and you look distressed, they're going to ask you about it and you have the opportunity to explain what's going on. But of course, then they may just kill you. So I don't really know which way is better. So John McAfee had this tweet where he said, "Me worried about the SEC. I've openly, publicly, and in the media ridiculed the corrupt, pus-filled, bile-dripping abscess on the fabric of America. Come for me, SEC. I will, in every media outlet in this country, rip you a new one worthy of parking a tractor trailer in." So this is in response to the SEC saying they're going to come after social media influencers and celebrities. And John McAfee certainly fits the bill. I'm not sure what would make them think that he's a sketchy guy.
John?
Huh? Yes.
Does that sound about right?
Well, not completely, you know. I mean, it's always there. It's watching. It's been watching me for years.
But in all seriousness, personally, I really like John McAfee, the way he just seems to be unbridled and not being able to be held down by any threat of authority. And he kind of says a lot of the stuff that we can only think and can't actually say out loud or feel like we can. And it's good that we have a mouthpiece like that, someone who will push back against the people that are trying to control us in this world. And so, you know, hats off to him for being this ballsy. I don't know if they actually will come after him or not. I would think he might be a high target on their list, but we will just have to see. So a very interesting story coming to us from Iran. Recently, the U.S. Treasury Department doxed 2 Bitcoin addresses and gave the names of the people behind them. If you don't know what the word dox means, it basically means someone who's trying to stay anonymous gets exposed. And that's what we saw here. But it was exposed by the U.S. government. So you may say, well, why was that? Well, the people did some pretty bad stuff. There were 2 Iranian nationals, and what they did was they were involved in what was called the Sam ransom attack. And basically what that was is they sent malware and ransomware to several different places in the country, including where I live, the actual city of Atlanta, hospitals, the port in San Diego, and they were demanding cryptocurrency, or specifically Bitcoin, in return for letting them unlock their systems. So they specifically chose different places that it would be very, very difficult for them to keep going operationally. One was a hospital. They knew if they attacked the servers at the hospital, that basically the entire hospital would get shut down, and that's what happened. So they were in a pinch and really needed to fix the situation. So they were demanding Bitcoin in return for this. And this wasn't just necessarily about receiving the money. They were also wanting to cause political turmoil in the United States as well. So kind of a cyber terrorism, if you will, but they were also getting paid for it too. So they actually processed more than 7,000 transactions during this attack. Now, the question is, a lot of people want to know, how did the United States get the addresses of these individuals? And you have to understand the anonymity of Bitcoin. It only goes so far as who knows who is sending the money. So if I send money to someone and they know it's from me, then they know my Bitcoin address. Now, just knowing the address doesn't mean that the U.S. government can seize the funds or can block transactions to that account or anything like that. But the warning here is, if you think you can stay anonymous with Bitcoin, the truth is you cannot, especially if you're going to be making a lot of transactions. If you're only going to do a few transactions, you may actually be okay. However, the more transactions that you do, it's like a spider web of information. So I found this website here. It's called matbea.net. And what you can do here is you can put in any Bitcoin address and you can see all of the transactions flowing to and from that address. So based on that information, if someone's doing a lot of transactions, you can track the money that is going in and out. You can track all the addresses that are sending in money and receiving money from this address, and then you can do the same thing for all of those accounts, kind of creating a spider web of information. And all it takes is finding out who the owner of one of those addresses is, and contacting them and basically, strong-arming them or whatever it may be in order to get them to tell the next address, who it was that they sent the money to. And they can kind of follow that spider web pattern until they can nail down who these people are. Of course, they would do that with threats of legal action. Who knows, maybe even physical harm. I don't know what the threats are involved, but I'm sure this is probably how they managed to figure out these Bitcoin addresses. What they did is they were able to track down one of the exchanges where transactions from these addresses were being done. And then, of course, through legal action, they were able to get chats between the exchange and the actual address owners, and that's how they were able to figure out exactly who it was. Now, if you read through all these articles about the situation, you actually don't... Though that's me putting pieces together on what happened. When you read the articles, I think because the people writing these aren't necessarily involved with cryptocurrency, they're like, who knows how they got these addresses? But when you really start digging into it, it's pretty obvious. There's only one way they could find these addresses, which is through a paper trail almost of Bitcoin addresses and transactions to ultimately get the two that they were looking for. So what does this mean for Bitcoin going forward? Well, this means that less criminals and terrorists will probably be using it in the future. Now they know it's this easy, and that the US government is willing to dox you if you cross them. So who knows, maybe one day there will be a giant database of Bitcoin addresses, and you have to check it and make sure that the people you're sending Bitcoin to aren't on that list because they're like a black market of crypto or something like that. A black market within a black market, go figure. But that's it, guys. I wanted to talk to you guys about that. I thought that was a huge story. You guys let me know what you think about that. Do you think Bitcoin is still anonymous? Do you think that terrorists and criminals will be more likely to use US dollars than cryptocurrency, or at least privacy coins than Bitcoin? You guys let me know what you think below. Until next time, BitBoy out.